Hi, my name is George Dailey. I'm GIS and Schools Manager for ESRI in the United States. And I'm here with some colleagues from ESRI UK. And what we're doing is exploring what people can be doing with GIS in the classroom. So at my table, what we've been doing is going off with our 3D tool with ArcGIS Explorer, doing a little mapping of some earthquake activity, like the recent quake that happened in Haiti, and then also looking at places where people are going to be able to discover new data sets. So want to take a look? So this is our 3D tool, ArcGIS Explorer, and for people who've worked with Google Earth or other 3D tools, this is going to look very familiar. The thing I'm able to do here is begin to bring in things like KML files, like Google Earth, but also other services. So data sets that people are putting up onto the web, into the cloud, geodatabases, and other capacities. What we've done in this particular map is I went off to the U.S. Geological Survey and pulled in the last 7 days worth of quakes. So for everyone who's been paying attention out there, there's been an amazing event, a very large quake that happened in Haiti yesterday. So what we get to see from the USGS, so I'm using these place marks as a way of retrieving information, and I'm able to see that this was about 10 kilometers deep, very, very shallow event. And if we want to, we can go off to a place to discover more about that. So quickly using the internet to use a geographic reference as a starting point to learn more about what's going on in a place.
How difficult is it to set up that data in that map?
So this was simply actually going off to this web page, and I grabbed a KML file from here and quickly said map it. So, and voila, we've got all of that. And in some ways, why not just do this in Google Earth? I can just do it in Google Earth. The thing that's nice here is I can also go in and add other data sets. The thing that Viktoria has unfortunately caught us just as we're getting started, so I don't have lots of other data sets in here, but I can bring in, as you see here, other kinds of GIS services, and more international agencies, European entities are putting data sets up for people to discover. One of the places that they're doing that in is an area that we've constructed called ArcGIS Online. And it is both a find and create, but also a share. So people are able to author data, put it into the cloud for me to go off and discover. So if I said, oh, I want to find data on volcanoes, we'll just stick with an Earth theme here. And here is a search. So we're using a geographically focused search engine as a starting point to discover specific sets of data. So here is, in fact, that service that I just put in. Here is another set of data on world hazards. And because we were fairly global in our search, just volcanoes, here's data that someone's put up on Mars. So the largest volcano in the solar system happens to be on the planet of Mars. And this area is going to continue to grow. There are also free web mapping services and other capacities that people will discover here.
Is it also possible to relate the data with each other so that I can take data from one government and mix it up with the data from another government or in between the countries and all that? You mentioned it.
Right. As more and more agencies are producing, geographic data is everywhere. Tons and tons of geographic data. What's unfolding is people are beginning to take those disparate pieces and say, we want anyone to be able to retrieve that and use it for whatever their research project might be, whether it's in a school or I do in fact work for a national agency that's looking at, say, climate change. So I need to be able to mash up data from lots of different sources and go off and do the project that I'm working on. But the key in all of this is what are the questions that people are trying to answer, and they're geographic in nature. That's the key.
And you're here at the conference because you believe it's very, very easy to use GIS in schools, even for school kids?
Right. Everything from the kind of free online mapping and 3D tools that we were showing to more what might be called professional GIS tools, but a continuum of tools that people can step into, whether I'm an elementary student or I'm in university. The key there is going back to what are people wanting to do, what are they trying to learn, and what are the ways we and our colleagues from ESRI UK are ready to support them. So that includes curricular materials, training, access to data, and of course the software tools. But the tools are not as important as is the question that somebody's trying to answer. So what are the tasks they're trying to tackle?
So we are looking for a lot of interesting new questions that people are posing out there and maybe find some answers with your software.
We do hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
So these are, again, example maps of what people are doing. So the kinds of things that we were hoping that young people will be doing. And here we're looking at things like sea surface temperature, transitioning, making a route. I might be going on a field trip with my school. Someone looking at land use. And a lot of these are not necessarily things that are going on with schools, but people who are with various authorities like the UN Environment Program, where they're concerned about population and forest. Or here is another UNEP project that's looking at the Arctic, Africa. And a takeaway from looking at all of these things are geographies everywhere. Pick a walk of life. I could be a firefighter working with geography. I could be somebody here who is looking at something pretty, odd, looking at mines, watersheds. So think of the occupations: botanist, health administrator, city planner, on down the line. All of them are working with geography, working with technology, communications, math, science, all of those, and they fit into every walk of life.
Very wide range of use cases.
Right. So there's the tsunami, that earthquake that happened that caused the tsunami back in 2004. And the numerous ways in which people can visualize information. And one of the things about GIS is it's great for visualization. Let me see a map that shows me, in this case, a battlefield from the U.S. Civil War. But I also would like to be able to go in and do some analysis. And these screens are actually output from people's work at not just creating visual images, but doing analysis. Please, computers, show me where crime is exceedingly high in a particular part of the city of Phoenix, or where water demand is going to be higher or lower. So I want to be able to ask questions, interrogate the data to solve the problem or answer the question that I'm tackling.